Hi, this is Ho-Jun Chang, and today we're going to go over with the Behringer X32. This is not just a review, and I don't do a review, but it's more like the visual manual. I know you don't want to read manual, and most guys don't want to read the books, so I'm gonna go over every single things that you can find in your X32. Let's see how we're gonna do. Okay, so right now the X32 and the X32 edit on my Mac is connected through the network. So it is connected here, connect and connected. So the IP of the console is 142 and this Mac is 107. So they are communicating. They are communicating like this. See, the fader is moving right here. So it is connected, and also I turned on the presentation mode here, right? So whatever that I touch, it will show on the X32 edit like this. So we can just go over with every single thing. You cannot find that a presentation mode on your mixer. It is only available on the edit app. So okay, there's some notification. That's okay. All right. So basically, the devices that we are using nowadays are network device. No matter if it's on the audio side, video side, or network side, whatever, everything is network, right? So even your refrigerator, if you buy like some expensive one, that one has the whole network functions. Anyway, so this is a setup menu. So these two devices, so console and the Mac, the computer is individual network devices and connected by the local area network. Local area network, that is these three numbers. These three numbers are indication of the they are in the same network. So you gotta check that. I'm sorry to say, but you're gonna understand how the TCP/IP works and how the network works, because nowadays you gotta know those things. All right, so basically these two devices are connected. Like I said, it is a synchronized. So console to PC. So when you connect, there's some a pop-up window that says are you gonna synchronize like this. Okay, when I disconnect, connect, see, synchronize. Do you want to transfer current settings? So console to PC or PC to console. Most of times, just use console to PC, because you never know what is in the console side. So let's check this. Okay, so transferring parameters. All right, so it is being transferred from the mixer to edit. Okay, so that's the function of basic network. So here we can see the global here. So that's on the setup, right? So version 2.5. So you don't need to update it all the time, but it is good to update. So when you update, there is a function on the mixer setup. Hold on. The presentation mode is on. Okay, so it changes. So global here. That is here. The console and the edit are different. In the console, there is a shutdown, reboot, update, firmware, but here initialization. So this one is right here. So just think of what you are doing. Okay. So there is a certain functions for the initialization or firmware update. Okay, sample rate. So right now it is set on the 44.1 kilohertz. The sampling rate is the like how many slices that you can get on 1 second of the analog sound to make a digital data. So there's two options right here, 48 and 44.1K. So either ones are fine. Just it's up to the whatever that you are connected with. So in case like if you have a wave file that on your USB memory stick, that sample rate is 48 kilohertz and your console is 44.1 kilohertz, the sound will not go. So you gotta have to think about all the standards that they can communicate. So if there's a different languages that they talk, different data sizes, so they cannot just use. So that's one thing really need to think about when you are using digital equipments. All right, so either 48 or 44.1. So there's a good and bad, but it is not a really big thing, because when you use this whole tone shaping and all other things, this difference is really tiny and you will not noticeable. All right, synchronization, that's the thing for the digital audio system connections. So you have to have one master clock generator. So the one machine should have the whole authority to run the clock. So if you use two different digital equipments, you have to decide which one is the master and the other one's a slave. So if you check internal, that means this X32 is master. So if you connect some other equipments like the AES50A port, like S16 or your computer or whatever the older digital equipment by the or digital connections, you gotta make sure one is on master side. So if there is a problem, you will hear the clock noise like tick, tick. All of those are not synced. So that's why it's called synchronization. So you gotta check this. So if you use S16, it is good to set S16, so AES50A for the master. So you click here to set that thing as a master, because it is most likely preamp the input section, right, to the console. So it is better to have that. Yeah, so more informations, and you gotta hold on. Yeah, you gotta go over the a detailed manual. So there is a expand card, and yeah, the other things, time and presentation mode. Like I said, you can use the synchronize the whole window settings here. All right, let's go. Let's begin with the home button. All right. So when you press home button that you will have the individual channels sections, right? So this is a digital mixer. So it is not like analog mixers that you already know. Analog mixer has a whole channel strip. So the one channel section has the input section like preamp and EQs and all accents and mute and pamphlet and faders or groups and all other things in the one section. And if you have a 24 channel mixer, it has 24 of those, right? But in the digital side, everything is not by the circuit itself, just like the analog side, but there's a programming language that convert all of those circuit to the certain language program like app. So it's like the you don't need to have all of those parts. It's just a chord, certain chords that determine how the signal goes or how the signal can be. So there's a whole functions on the code. So you don't need to have all of those big number of the circuits and parts. So that's one thing good for the digital meter side, because in the analog meter side, almost all circuit is circuit will have the signal itself. So signal goes through the whole resistors, condensers, and the whole knobs and the faders and switchers. So all of those parts can add some noise, or like if it goes on longer and makes another noise and like failures and other things. So signal is impacted by those noises, right? But in the digital side, everything is just controlling, like adding some values or reduce values or change this value to that, or so it is not like the analog side. And also the analog side, you cannot make perfect the really detailed functions. So it's like, let's say if you boost 5 dBs on 2 kilohertz, you will never know is it really boosts the 2 kilohertz or 2.1 or 2 point something on the 4.8 dB or 5.2 dB. There's a whole rooms for the errors, right? But in the digital side, everything is numbered, so there is no error like that. So when you boost 2 kilohertz on 5.2 dB, it is actually 5.2 dB boost on the 2 kilohertz, just exact that number. So in the digital side, it is more controllable than analog side. You may say digital is not like, okay, there is no the human touch things, but we can do better, we can do more. So that's one thing good about the digital system. All right, so when you check this, so from that talks, okay, so digital console doesn't need to be big. Well, there's a big consoles with a big number of price tag, because people get used to with the analog side, like one channel strip things. So they want to have the same functions. So something like big consoles still makes the big consoles, or even like 48 frames, like 48 channels or something like that. But it costs a lot more than this X32, right? So we just go with this kind of systems right now. So it doesn't need to have that many controls on each channel. So Behringer, they just use, or Yamaha and other makers do the same thing. So they only make one control sections here that can do every single channels. Okay, so when you so we have something called select. So there is a select button right here. So if you press certain channels, so for example like channel 6 right now, so if you press channel 6, this whole control section belongs to channel 6, and number here it says 6, right? And the edit app, it says 6. So right now, if you touch the fader, mute, solo, or controlling the gate, or compressor, whatever, is on the channel 6, right? So if you do that and press 7, everything is gone, right? On the 6 side. So this is whole new channel 7. So you gotta think about the number, the channels that you are controlling all the time, because sometimes you all try to control channel 7, but you're actually controlling the other channels. But just like the old days, like when you have a big consoles, you try to fix some EQs on the channel 7, but sometimes you touch the channel 8 or 6, right? No, 5 or something like that. So But the funny thing is, it sounds like you're controlling things, but it is not, right? Okay, so you have just one controlling section here. It is the same as the X32, X32C, X32P. So I have X32C right now here. So we have a whole 8 faders for the input section, the other 8 for the output section, and 1 master section, right? And we can use like whole the 16 faders on the input section too, like this one. Okay, so when you press this button, these 2 buttons, okay, so faders can go with 1 through 16. And if you press like 1 through 8 and 17, 24, that one's like, yeah, this one goes 8, and here number 17 through 24. Okay, that's the tip. All right. So we are coming here on the home section. Okay, so home. This is where the all the basic channel strip signal flow goes. So this is the in. So that's the other words is called a preamp. So there is a gain, right? So this is a trim, and is gain controls. Okay, and it is a link function. So the 2 channels can be linked, where there is only can linked by odd number and even number. You cannot do the on 6, 7. So when you press link here, it is linked onto 5 and 6, not 6 and 7. So you gotta think that, okay? So that's a channel link. So you can link whole things too, like EQs and other things. So okay, not this one. All right. So here's the preamp side. This is the phase button, right? So if you think that the signal cable is reversed, so you can press this one. Or if you think that there's a phase reversal needed on the channels, so you can press this one. Delay. There's a delay for the this one. So if you need to have some delay for the phase issue, just like you put the 2 microphones, but the physical distance makes some phasing issue, then you can adjust this one to make certain time sync from the sound source, right? So if you put the microphone 1 here and 2 here, so this distance makes some phase issue. So use the delay to get this one to this side to make some, the synced sound. So there's no comb filter effect on those. Okay, so that's the delay thing here. Okay, low cut. Low cut is the high pass filter, right? So we can cut the low end, low frequency side. So if you, there is some functions, right? So 100 hertz, and EQ side there's 100 hertz and off, right? So this is the low functions. You can cut the rumbles or rumbleless or some other unwanted noise from the input source, like stage, or if you have vocal microphones, and you can cut it and cut the low end to be good sound, right? Okay, and here's a gate and EQ and dynamics. And right now the signal goes to through the gate and EQ and dynamics. But here, so you can change this one by the knob here. So we can do like this. See? Why is it not change? Yeah. It changed it on the mixer, but it's not synced. It's not synced. Let me go with this setup and do presentation mode again. anyway, so when you see this side, there's some technical difficulties, technical problems on the Mac side. Okay, all right. So you can change it to gate comp EQ or gate EQ comp, right? So basically, I want to use this way, gate comp EQ. I'm gonna explain on the other side later. Okay, so that's on the these sections and insert point. So you can put the outboard on here or onboard the effector on the channels, right? So you can see how the signal goes here. And also there is a DCA groups. DCA is the best way to use the group without getting the signals. So the DCA only controls the faders. So you don't need to readjust all the mixes, but just one DCA goes up and down to make certain balance. Okay, I'm gonna talk about it later. Okay, and also there is a mute groups, so it is the same thing. Okay, and here is the bus sense. So bus is more like the aux, same words. So in the analog side, there is a 6 aux sense. So maybe 3 or 4 goes to the monitor and 2 goes to the effector, right? So those things. So this one will get the sound not from the main bus, but it's parallel output, so to the other side, so something like here. And also you can change it to the post fader or subgroup. That's the other way. And pre EQ, pre post EQ. Pre and post EQ is a pre fader, right? The fader here. So this side is a pre-fader or post-fader. So it is independent from the fader. So no matter what you mute the sound or lower, the output is always the same on the mix sense on if you took the pre-fader listen. All right, that's the whole 16 mix outs here. That's really nice to have a 16 bus out. Old days, the biggest console will have about 12 or something like that. So it is amazing to have this much numbers. All right, the next window is config window. Okay, it is changing. I'm not sure why. Okay, so we already covered the sections here, and the other ones we have source. So this is more like the patch bay. So even though the number channels are selected and it is already selected to the number 6 on inputs, I can set it onto the other numbers too. Any numbers of 32 and the other inputs and aux and FX2. So in other words, you can show the same input to other channels too. So number 5 can be 6 and number 6 can be 6. So you can have a different tone shaping. Okay, let's cut this link off. Okay, so in the same microphone, but different tones that you can have. So for the church, you have one pulpit mic, and pastor has a strong voice, like strong raw voice, and the other people has not like the pastor voice. Then you can have different setup on this channel and like goes use this one or this one or this one. So it's you can do those things too. And also if you have like number of channels that you want to control like simultaneously, but one's on the channel 32. So if you have the X32C, there's a whole layers that you have to go over with. But in this case, so you use one fader groups to have different inputs too. So even though it is connected to the number 16, but you can bring it 16 to here. And you may wonder why I have the whole CRD to have things That's on the routing side here. So I'm gonna explain later. Okay, and also we have a delay that we already covered. Okay, insert point and insert. If you put the insert, then you can select one of those things to insert here. So insert point we already covered on this side, right? So that's one thing that we can do. All right, and I'm gonna turn off. Okay, and the gate has I need to go with the long story, long time to explain, not just cutting the noise. Like if you have a hum, like noise or some other floor noise things that you gotta get rid of, you can simply turn on the noise gate to get quieter. Right now, my voice, I put the gate on it because my MacBook and all other things make some noise, like fan noise or something like that. So whenever I talk, the signal is on. Whenever I'm not talk, it's really quiet. You hear the sound, right? That sound is the noise floor that we have. All right, that's the thing. So I'm gonna go. I have another lectures with the gate. So and also the dynamics, that one's too. So compress is, everyone is talking about compressor, but actually the compressor is not compressing anything, but it just compress the dynamic range, not source itself. So I'm gonna talk about those to the other classes too. All right, so that's the thing. So if you use compress in the right way, you will have a great tones. So compressor is actually tone shaping device, not just a dynamic control device. EQs, okay. EQ is kind of seems easy, but it is not really easy, right? So we have a 4-band here, and low and high can be either here like a PEQ, that's a peaking EQ, or shelving or cut, and also the low one too. So all of those can be this total of 6 kinds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So all of those 4 band can be this way. Okay, so I'm gonna skip how to use this one because it is, you gotta have another lectures to understand this. So that's the EQ section here. Okay, so EQ section, we can use this whole control sections too. So if you press here view button, so the dynamic will pop up and gate. Okay, so we have to use the view buttons a lot. Okay, and sends. Okay, this is the whole the aux sends on that channel number. Right now it's 7. Okay, so if you use this one, or you can all of those controls on the aux sends out. And here's a really good thing. This one is called send on fader. So in the mixer right here, send on fader. So if you press this button, and select one of these two, select bus 1 through 8 and bus 9 through 16. So you can actually control the 4 aux sends on this channel number. So check this the window here. I'm gonna use this. Okay, so this is right now we are selecting bus number 1 through 8, right? So 3. So the aux sends of aux 3 is controlling right now, and this is 4, 2, 1, something like that. So you don't need to go to this window and just use the encoder to raise. See, this is the one. So you just use this all the time, but you don't need to. Just use the send on fader. That's easy. All right. So and here's a main. So if you press this one, yeah, there's a stereo bus routing. So if you use the pan, see this? Yeah, pan will work, right? The sound will go either left and right. That's the thing. And monobus is another bus. Yeah, we already checked the LR plus mono. So you have a left and right the stereo bus out, and also there is a one more mono out. So you can use mono out, turning on mono out, and set another lever to go to the mono bus. So there's a different bus, right? Left and right and mono. LCR is center. So if you have a three-way systems in your speaker system, left, center, right, then you can use this one to pass the signal to the just dedicated center channels, or either between those channels and right, or channels centers and left, those things. Okay, that's on this side LCR. So you gotta check this one. That's on the first this window. Okay, and the other ones are meter, right? Okay, so we can check the signal level of all input channels here, 1 through 32, and these ones are current phase positions. Every positions that we move is we can see. All right, so we can check the how the sound should be on the visual side, and gain reduction here, and gain reduction here, gate and dynamics. So we can go over this thing later on the other classes. Okay, and mix bus. So this is the meter section, right? So the whole aux buses, so we call the mix sends, right? The sends, the whole individual level we show up here, and also the faders too, and the reductions. And matrix out is different out than the mix and main bus. We can combine these mix and main outputs to make another signals. So just in case, for example, like if you have a cry room and you wanna put the individual independent mix to that room, so you will have more pastor's voice or more of certain things than main mix. You can use the this matrix side. So that one's the same reductions. Okay, aux is another output from the X32C console, X32 consoles, and normally there is 16 in or 32 in and 16 out, or but this is a whole different in and out. So those sends and returns, and this is the internal effector, right? So there's a 4 of them. So individual levels and the fader locations are right here. So you can see in and out. So all of those ins are here and outs are here, out here. And P16 is ultranet. That one's you already know the monitoring, personal monitoring system called the P16M, right? So we can control all of those. Now you can see how the signal goes on that side, that path. RTA is the real-time analyzer, so you can check, you can visualize what the sonic side, so how the sounds look like. So we can use the whole input sections and other things. All right. Now routings. So this is important. The X32 has internal 40 channel processing, but it can have all these inputs. Local side, local, it means like internal input. Internal input. Oh, fan gets louder. Right? I use the gate, so don't worry. So this is X32C. So that means we only have 16 inputs. So input A, input 1 through A. Here's the input 1 through A, input 9 through 16, and 17 through 24, and 25 through 32. So Behringer, they designed this console with the 8 blocks. so 8 blocks. So you cannot actually change all of those things. Well, the Yamaha and the other brands will do the whatever that they want to use, but this one's it is by the block, 8 block. So if you check 1 through 8, when you go to the configuration on the home button, you only can have 1 through 8 here, right? So channel 7, well, channel 7 can have the other ones, but this whole section will go together. So you cannot have one and this, this one and the other ones too. So you only go with this side. So if you choose this number of sources or the other ones, so for example, let me just check this one this way. So I put this way and something like this. Okay, there's A internal 96 and B. So when I go back to channels, okay, here's a whole sources that I can have, right? So here, like 1 through 8 is already set it to the 1 through 8 because I select here 1 through 8. If I change it to the 9 through 16 here, it is 9 through 16, right? You cannot have number 1 here. Number 1, there's no in number 1 because it usually go with the 8 channels in one block like this. So think about those. Okay, anyway, the X32 can have 32 inputs, 32C and 32P. X32C and X32P can only have a 16 internal input. So there is a 16, and there is, you cannot check, you cannot get this one on this mixer. There is no 17 through 32. So, but if you put the some other devices, some other X32 or S16 or something they use with the AES50 protocols, that you can use it, like M32 or something like that, if it is set it up to the same frequency. Okay, so there is a 3 S16 can connect it to the on one AES50. There's a 2 port on the back of the console, A and B, so you can use A, port B here. Card is the expansion card, so you can use the USB bus to the Logic or Pro Tools or Cubase or whatever that you want to use in the Mac or the computer side, like DAWs, so you can directly get the signal from the DAWs through this one if you check this one. Okay, so this section here, channel processing block patch, so it is only do by block here, so 1 and 8, 9, 6 and something like that, right? So right now there's nothing that connected. All right, so if you connected S16, there is a picture of S16, and here's the thing, and there is also the we already covered the clock, right? So you gotta make sure that everything is synced. So this green means it is working, locked. So USB locked, that's a card. USB locked on the 44.1 kilohertz. Yeah, that one's right up here. Okay, routing and output, and it has the outputs here. So X32 has 8 output. No, X32C has 8 output. X32 has a 16 output. So you can patch what you can assign the signals that you want to use on the each individual outputs. So aux1, right now it is mix 1, right? So you can go into the your wedge, the flow monitors. Okay, so 2 is like this. Okay, 7. So if you use the 7 and 8 output to the main mix, So main mixer side. So here we change this one to the main left and right. So in the back of the console, there's the 8 outputs, and we use 7 and 8 for the left and right up, and or you can use the monitor side. So if you took the monitor side and monitor L and monitor the R and 7 to the monitor RL, so you can use this one, this monitor section, to go with the output 7 and 8 to get the monitor out. So if you are using X32 in your recording studio and wants to use the monitor sections, you change that. Okay. And so this is a whole the category and all the individuals, and also you can change it or the tap point, so where you can take the signal out. So the preamp out, or plus mute, and pre-EQ, post-EQ, fader, like a pre-fader or post-fader, something like that. And also you can also do the delays. So if you use certain output to the delay tower or delayed speaker, so you can put the delays on it without any DSPs on it. So you don't need to have a DSP. That's saving like about $600 or $700. Okay. Aux out. There is another output on the back of the X32. So there is a 6 output with the AES EBU. 1 out has a 2 output, right? AES EBU has a 1 cable. It uses 1 cable with the 2 signals. That's a left and right. So you can check. You can assign whatever the signal is, right? Here. P16 we already covered. So you can have all the individual signals from the chain section. So if you put P16 here, and right now is pre-EQ. So the actually preamped. So there is preamp out will go directly to the P16 So 2, same thing. Pre-EQ output from the channel 2 will go to 2, and all of those things, right? All right. And card output. So if you put the card out, the expansion card, external connection card, expansion card, same thing. Okay. And this is a USB card, so it uses the USB to connect with the computer, so Mac or PC, and connect those, and we can check what the signal will go there. Okay, so right now 1 through 8, so that means the input 1 through 8 will go directly to the channel 1 through 8. So there's a 32 in and out, so you can have a multi-recording or multi-playback from the DAW to the mixer, right? Those things. So everything is about 8 blocks. 8 channels per 1 block, right? So ES50 is another protocol that Midas use and Behringer use. So it is about those. So AES50A, so we can check the whole output, what we're gonna put out. So if you put this one 1 through 8 and output 1 through 8, so that means this 1 through 8 will goes to the AES50A output 1 through 8. If you put the one S16, so the output of 1 through 8 will get this sound of this sound. So if you put 7 on monitor left, so in the S6 side, the 7 will come out, get the monitor mix, not the main mix. So you gotta check this one to the, change this one to the left, right? So you can have this 7 out to the S16 out on 7. Same thing on the B, okay? So you can have, you can connect like 1 through 14 times 2 on the 40 channel processing capable mixer. So the capability is 40, but you can have all of those 96 plus internal 32 and card 32. So total number of 64 plus 96. You add all of those, and but you only have the mixing capability of 40 channels. Exit out. There is also exit out. So 1 through 4, 5, 8. So you can choose what source will be. Okay, setup. We already covered this side, and also the remote. There's a MIDI, the DAW control things. We're not gonna cover it here. Network we already covered. Scribble strip. Okay, so we can name it. Okay, so I'm gonna check. Yeah, I'm gonna select channel 1 color here, red. See the color changes, right? And also the icons, or the color can be inverted. Color can be inverted here. See, and also the icons. So if you pick the okay, this is the kick drum. So I'm gonna pick the kick and name the kick drums. Okay, and select. So here's a kick drum, and you can see the channel is a kick drums here. Or you can delete and name the kick. Okay, kick, and it will name the kick here, and you can show the name here. So when you select one, here's a kick, right? It's the same name. You only can use the English here. Okay, so either you use the keyboard on the edit, or the cursors and the mouse things. Okay, there's a scribble strip, so you can name it, and also the you can select the DCA side, and you can name all of those DCA groups as well. Okay, preamp controls. There's external preamp control sections here. Let's skip it, and card section. So we can configure the hold the buses limit. So 32 in and out, or 16, or 32 in and out. So let's leave it on this side. Library is the library that can have presets. Okay, here library presets on the personal computer. Right now it's on the computer side, but when you go to the computer, the mixer side, there is all memories that you can store or record. Channel settings, or effector settings, and routing settings. So if you think you are finished with channel 1 with certain setups, and you can save it to the library here, right? Here, utility and save preset. So utility, save preset. Or here, when you use the console, okay, here's a whole lot of libraries that pre-made it. Okay, when I press this one and okay, so channel 1 has the whole base setup that already programmed by the Behringer here. Okay, see here, all different buses, right? So you can use the library on that functions. So you can also do the effect and routing tables too. So all of those routings that we already covered in the routing page, then we can also use those to the libraries. So you can record or store. Effect. There is many internal effects on the X32, and we can use all of those effects on this section. So there is a whole 8 stereo in and out. So there is 4 of them for the effects. So normally we use like 1 or 2 reverb or delay or chorus. Yeah, this is the regular setup. So you can use here channel 13, 14, 15, 16, right? And also the insert section, we can use graphic equalizers for the whole main output or monitor output. So you can do the whole tuning things or ringing out. So certain acoustic makes certain roomy or ringings, so you can control those. Do not use EQ for the whole like tonal setup things. It is really bad. And why? Because you will control the bad harmonics. So I'm gonna just skip it right now. So when you use this one, see there's a type here, so plate and what other things, selections that you can make. Okay, effect, and here's all the types, right? So you can choose something and select set and other things. Okay, and this is the whole effector 1 through effector 8, so you can use the other things. Okay, monitor section is the another part. So the X32C has here monitor sections. So when you running the small monitor on your mixer, so you can connect those two using the routing and output, right? We already covered that. So and connect those and use the individual monitors. And also there is delays here. Delays here. So if you set it up the 500 millisecond, that means you are about 170 meters away from the speaker, main speaker. So all of those sounds that you have half-second delays. So if you don't count that and connect small monitors on your mixer, you will always get the monitor sound first, and half-second later, main sound will come. So it is hard to do some of the works. So make the monitor, there's put the delays on the monitor to meet the same time of the sounds treble. Okay, so you will hear the same thing, but you can also use the solo and whole other functions on the monitor sections, not the main mix. That's the thing. And dim sections, like when someone wants to talk to you and you just put the dim button and reduce the 20 dB. That's the thing. And mono and solo trim and the source stream. No, this is source stream. Okay. Anyway, the monitor source. So you can pick the what you're gonna hear. So here's LR, PFL, right? So pre-fader listen, or AFL, so after fader listen. Pre-fader, after fader. So pre-fader, you will get what the signal actually did before the faders, right? So no matter what, the channels faders are lower, but you can also hear the source. So it's like you muted the sound, but you want to know what the actual sound is, then you can use the PFL. Okay, there is a talkback A and B. Talkback is a way to communicate with the stage or recording booth with you. So when you press enable and press this talkback button, right, tap here, and there is an internal microphone here. So when you talk, 1, 2, there is a level coming in, right? Okay, so it works like that. External is there is if you put the external microphones on the back of the console, can use those too. Okay, and here's this is the section that I'm where the talkback sound will go. So main left and right, or certain buses, or something like that, right? So if you can use the mix bus 16 and connect those to the in-ear monitor of or certain singers or certain musicians, and talk about like, oh, you are out of pitch, or you're kind of do you need any water? Something like that. So you can communicate with them. Right. Okay, and this is the lamp. So there's a lamp socket on the back of the console, so you can dim it. Right. Talkback is the same thing as and another one you have. And oscillator is generating the signals, right? Oscillator destination signals. So you can have a destination here. So when you need a pink noise, so you don't need to get any output. So select pink noise and pink noise here and turn on, and increase the level. So you have the sine wave, so frequency here, and white noise too. So just checking the room or the speakers, yeah, something like that. All right, that's the monitor. Recorder. The X32 has a built-in recorder using the USB memory stick, right? The USB memory stick should be the FAT32, so you gotta format like that, and it only records on the WAV file, and it can only play back on the WAV file with the same sampling rate. So just think, like when you go with the 48 kilohertz, just go with the 48 kilohertz for all the time. It saves a lot of headaches, okay, and playback and other things. So you don't need any more additional hardware or CD recorder or computer to record for the 2 tracks. Yes, it only record 2 tracks, and what you're gonna record is the determined by the here. So category here, so main mix left and right, or certain buses, certain outputs, they can have this one. So in many cases that you cannot raise the main volume because of the feedback or some of the things of the built-in microphone, but you want to have a more loudness, more volume on the recording, you can raise this one, right? So you can have additional gains here. Okay, and mute group, yeah, there's another one for the mute groups. That is when you use it, you will know. And utility is another function for the individual copy and pasting. So when you use the home button, press utility, there is a small things coming in. So you can either copy channel setting. So if you right now the okay, let me just turn off the DCA. Okay, you select channel 1 here, right? So you copy this one and paste to the number 2 and paste channel setting. Yes, okay. Then you will have same setting as 1 onto 2 right here. Okay, it is about 1 hour. All right, and that is some other things, right here. Yeah, this thing is blinked all the time, right? Because it is assigned to certain thing. Right now is FX3 on set A. So when you press this one or press this one, you will see this one and A and FX3. So button 3. Here's a buttons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and knobs. So X3C only has the buttons, but X32 has the knob and this LCDs, right? So right now the why is it blinking? Because it is set up to the here X3 and is time. That's a tempo. That's a delay thing. So if you change this one to the low cut frequency or something like that, see the blinking is gone, right? Or you can set this one to the recorder side and record button. So when you press this one, it will record. And if you use number 1 to record certain scene, concert scene, okay, so number 1 and set it up. So when you press this one, the scene number 1 will come up. So there is a whole lot of customizable configurations, settings for all individual buttons. And scenes, okay, there's a snapshot. So normally we have to use the scene memories. So pros don't do the mix during the show. They only use by their scene and basic operations, basic like loudness controls, like just fader works and solo and what other things, or even tweaking a little bit, but not just doing whole mixes, because every song is different and every artist are different. And there is for the church, the service is different, so we set up all the different scenes and record. Okay, so use this one. So if you use the edit, there is a X32 edit. That means on the it will save and load from the save to the computer and load from the computer. Console is internal memories. There's a whole lot of bunch of things that people already worked, right? So you can record this one and just go and see everything was changed. And if you go, the mixer is changing. So there's something like that. Okay. Basically, we have in the X32C, we have 8 faders that can work, and the other 8 is output with the for the DCAs and also bus out and effect outs, right? The matrix out. Okay, so we can use this one as those are functions. And there's a mute group, and here is also the whole bus master. Bus master 1 through 8, bus master 9 to 16, and aux input. Yeah, a whole lot of things. So basically, we already covered the basic system of the whole X32. I hope you enjoyed. And this is the YouTube, so you can always repeat and or forward and fast forward and rewind and just bring your own mixer. And try to understand what the whole buttons and knob and what are the things, because we should be good at the whole the knobs and all the functions, right? So this is like our tools. Like when you cook, you gotta use your knife very well, not to cut your hands or fingers. So that's about it, and I hope you enjoyed it, and you may subscribe. I may use more like the Korean side a lot, so most of my lectures will be Korean, but sometimes I use the English versions for you guys on the other side of the world. All right. Thank you for watching it, and let's make some good mixes. Bye.